is up? YouTube and or Twitch. We're here. SCW Invitational. The actual semifinals, not the fake semifinals that I said last time. We didn't get the beginning of it, but we will be casting the finals and the last of this. Thanks is up, I think now 3-2. It is 3-2. A Mandingo, pretty Gosu, gonna be top right as Zerg, and the Thanks will be top left as the Terran. Let me just put you on the Thanks cam while I get everything going here. Just gotta do a couple spammies here. Just to make sure everybody knows that your boy is online. It takes 2 minutes though. So I can't do it yet. Starting in 22 seconds. I can do it in 22 seconds. Okay. So we are just watching the Thanks cam here. Pretty goes through 455 micro. He wants to win this game. He wants to advance. He wants to win again versus the Korean Slayer and get that $100. The exchange rate is just ridiculous with the Korean money over with the USD money. It is American money that they will be winning. It looks like, yeah, so far we just got the standard 3-gate, not yet scouted. Mandingo got his hatch up out his choke. Gonna be doing all that standard stuff. Alright, let's just do this one more time here. Should be live now, right? There we go, we are live now, okay. Okay, here we go. Oh, hopefully we're not lagging the game with all these tabs open here. Alright, we live. We got it all spammed out there. Alright, dope. Alright, let's focus. He has scouted, Mr. Thanks has scouted the Zerg player and will be starting his pressure. The Zerg only has one sunken up. Gonna throw down his second now. Was getting a little bit greedy. Going to try to squeeze out all that he can, but the Korean will capitalize on it with his 400 APM and target it down as early as possible, getting as much damage before it turns into that deadly ground stabbing sunken colony that it will be eventually. No Zerg or anything yet for Mandingo, just really focusing on keeping his choke alive. This Marine is able to reach though. All 4 Marines are all going to be able to reach. Gonna get damage done on the Zerg hatchery. All extra damage that you just don't want done to you this early. Good stuff by Thanks, putting himself in a very good situation. And he actually is going to throw down a triple command center. So he's confident that this will be able to keep the Zerg busy enough to get up a big economy. It looks like he is actually might be able to take this hatchery down. I don't know. It's going to be pretty close. 160 health, using some drones to stack an attack. Actually is going to be able to save it, maybe. Yeah, very nice done. Maybe that is worth the sacrifice of a couple drones, but it doesn't look like he is quite done. He is still trying to poke out some damage. Very ghostly stuff. Thanks has warmed up this series. He is on target right now. His Terran is looking pretty strong. Zergling's gonna come out, take out these last Marines, but they will get that sunken colony. Their mission was a success. They will not die in vain. Their second life will be filled with tales of victory. The Zerg now just throwing down his... Oh, not even having enough money. He did throw down a fifth hatchery. So a lot of hatcheries before any kind of gas by Mandingo. Really, really focusing on his economy and not too worried about this pressure, which actually is going to be a good call because, of course, Thanks did throw down that triple command center, which means that no tanks or any kind of stim will be anytime soon, but he will probably be transitioning to quite a few factories, I imagine, unless he has some kind of Stargate play. We did see him before just get one factory, start pushing with the tanks, and then one starport, and then get a dropship and just drop right on the Zerg. One firebat there, one firebat there, and was able to just destroy Move Slayer. I'm going to try not to zoom in and out as much because Mr. KoKaNe, our gracious host of this tournament, has Mandingo is coal. No, Mandingo is not coal. This is the semifinals. The score is 3-2. Thanks is up 3-2. This is match point for him. Mandingo trying to stay alive. Winner, of course, goes on. This is the semifinals. Winner goes on. I don't know what the title is. I changed the title to finals because I thought this game was going to be over. Everyone thought Mandingo was going to lose that last game, but he was able to survive, holding on again here. Maybe going to fight back and get ourselves the game 7. I'm not sure. But yeah, it is 3-2 for Thanks. Best of 7. And yeah, we're getting right into it. 5 minutes in here, Mandingo got himself in a pretty good position, holding off that pressure, keeping that first hatchery alive, and killing a lot of Marines in the process. But both players are going for a super economical transition here from that real early pressure that we had. No pressure, no second push follow-up is going to really come up anytime soon for either of these players. We're going to see if... it looks actually right there. The question is answered. He's not going to go for a lair. He looks like he's going to go for a mass Hydra build, which could be okay when the Terran is building all these factories like this. It looks like he might be focusing on getting a lot more Goliaths and siege tanks, which would be good if this was a Guardian or Muta build, but it is not. It will be a mass Hydra push by, or at least pressure, at least a couple mass Hydra. He's definitely going to be massing Hydra out of here. He built all of those and laid his gas for this exact timing reason here. All of these larvae will be popping out as Hydralisks, I do imagine. And he probably will push once these 2 upgrades are finished. Oh, actually, never mind. He actually is going to get a couple more drones out while these upgrades are finishing. Not a bad call. He does have the hatchery, and he will have the larvae to be able to mass pretty good. He does just want to make sure that his economy is stacked up behind. You might as well. The pressure will just be a little bit less risky because siege tanks are just really cost efficient. He probably wants to catch a push off guard. He wants to mass right as this push breaks this choke and do a nice surround. That usually is the case. I don't usually see the Zerg players applying too much pressure unless he kind of gets some kind of scout off or block some kind of drop or something. But of course that will not be happening as only the Stargate now being built and only a single one of them. No bunkers or turrets, anything at the choke. Not even an engineering bay has been started by Blue, so a Muta bomb might not be the worst idea by Mandingo if he decides to go that route. He's not seeing much pressure, and he hasn't spent really any money on these sunken colonies at his choke. So he should have a lot of drones mining and a pretty good economy. Yeah. I don't know if this is really the best case. I guess Mr. Thanks is going to try to play it a little bit safer, which is always risky. Mandingo is a very good player. P. Pasando, thanks. I don't know what that means, Boxer. Speak English, bruh. English only in the chat, man. That's the Tony G rule. The layer going down for Blue. Only one evolution chamber. Only going to have one, probably the Carapace upgrade. That would probably be my upgrade of choice, even though it is more expensive. It does help all of the units, the Hydras and the Zergylings. The Zerg actually is going to decide to move out. The Terran does have one Marine out here on the field in the middle, going to get some scouting off, maybe pick off some Marines, but he actually is going to see this, which is actually super duper important. He is going to see a bunch of Hydralisks out here, which is not normally what you see here in this matchup. The Zerg applying pressure, the first one really. throwing down more hatcheries. His economy is very good at home. He is going to be able to mass nicely, but this might be a little overzealous. I don't know. Only 3 siege tanks, but they are pretty far back. These Hydras are pushing in. Not much Marines behind. Really going to push forward. Only, again, 2 factories here behind. So if he is able to pick these siege tanks off, the reinforcements might be able to start snowballing, but that is going to be cleaned up fairly cost efficiently. Not too bad for the Terran at all. He does have a big economy behind it. It looks like we do have a what is that called? Yeah, covert ops going down. So we are going to see probably some nukes by our Mr. Korean player. We'll see how well that goes. We do have very good map control. It'd be nice if you got burrowed these Zerglings on the map so they can't get picked off and you can have permanent map control. Hello, mi amigos. Caesar, did you not just hear me, bro? A drop gonna come in for red in the top, but there is lots of Hydralisks scouting that, and therefore preparation. They let it come in for a second, and then yeah, they will be able to pick that off before it is able to react. And still not another evolution chamber down. I would like to see all 3 evolution chambers, so all of his upgrades are going. No reason not to. Now that he's getting all of his gas up and his spire, we will see a Guardian transition. This will probably be a pretty late game, I guess. We have no intention from Red looking to move out of his base. He's going to let the Zerg get into his spire without any worries. I guess he is prepared to deal with that, and with the nukes, I guess that's going to be his counter. A lot of Goliaths, not many siege tanks, really relying heavily on the Goliaths right now in this choke point to protect those siege tanks. Again, the Zerg still hasn't put much. Tony Gosu, the best streamer. What up, Arturo? How you doing, my man? Welcome back to the Tony G stream. A great game here. Thanks, trying to get himself into the finals again to get that American money. And Mandingo fighting his way, probably as the underdog, even though he is a very, very good player. Fighting his way for his life, or fighting for his life right now. Fighting his way back into this game, slowly but surely. Or fighting his way back into the series. He does have an expansion, which is always good if you can get drones out on the map. That is never a bad idea. We are going to see the Terran tank this ledge up here, which is going to cause a lot of problems for these dumb Hydra's AIs if they're not microed properly, and they're going to be able to pick off all of these sunken colonies and this hatchery finally without having any kind of threat. No Guardians or Mutas in production yet, just a lot of defense here. The Greater Spire hopefully is going to go down soon. He does need to get a Defiler Mound down, which is there good. So he's going to rely on Lurkers, it looks like, to hold this first push while he slowly transitions into Mutas. He is playing this very well, using all of these drones that he does here, that he did have produced, going to build a couple more sunken colonies. 200 APM here, so he is a very high APM player. Very nice stuff. These Goliaths doing a pretty good job here. No actual units here, and the upgrades are pretty good on them. No upgrades yet for the Zerglings. They must have went for the Hydra attack there. He really wanted to get some work done. A couple tanks now sieging up with these Goliaths. Really going to be a problem. He needs some Defilers. I feel like this is a very strong push coming in. No Guardians or Defilers. Really is going to be difficult to hold this with just Hydras and Lynx, but doing a pretty good job just pushing this first wave back. Doesn't want to get in the range of these siege tanks on the ledge here. They can shoot pretty far, and there's just no reason to jump into that. But I guess the splash damage of the Zergling isn't too bad of an idea to get those guys in, just keeping the Hydras back. He does need to keep some alive, though, to get this consume up. No Lurkers I see yet. He threw those Hydras in, trying to hold this back a little bit, or trying to delay it as much as possible, but he will need probably some Lurkers, but I guess just swarming Lings will be pretty good still. They are able to attack without taking too much damage. Not as OP as Lurkers, but still pretty good. Will be cost efficient. Oh, look at that. He turned up all of these defensive Lurkers up there into all the Hydras up there into Lurkers, and he is going to be able to get a swarm. Thank you, Strong Cheeto, for following. That is dope. Welcome to the stream, my man. How are you doing? Mandingo Dark Horse. Yes, look at this coming out of nowhere. Making Thanks look beatable for sure here. Doing a great job reading the Terran player and reacting nicely. Defending, getting his lurkers up here nicely in the choke. First nuke probably going to be coming down. Oh, there we do. We do see the nuke starting over here. I'm not sure if one is done yet or if Cloak is done yet. A lot of factories here back at home at the 13-minute mark, and more hatcheries down. Not many spores, or he's just really relying on Scourges and his map control to defend any kind of vessels run in, which I do like. The vessels, when you actually micro them, are super cost efficient versus those vessels, and they are faster than them if you do micro them properly. Thanks, now pulling a bunch of SCVs out here on the map to get a bunch of turrets around here, so no muta run by can go by unspotted, or drops will be a lot harder to get through. Gonna have a continual lurker swarm up here. First nuke is gonna go down when an uncloaked ghost, and Overlord is gonna come in here to see what's going on. No mutas or anything are here to come in here and pick off this ghost. This nuke is gonna go down. We're gonna see if Blue is able to pull back. Two lurkers are going to blow up in that deadly nuke. The choke now is vulnerable. No more. Oh no, he does have some lurkers here. He's gonna throw down another swarm here. He's gonna have to use some links to defend these lurkers on their path to the swarm, and he is going to be able to hold that choke. That nuke, not enough. He's gonna have to save up more to really be able to keep applying that to just make sure Blue does have a mistake. You can see his bank isn't the biggest, but it is still good as he's massing up lots and lots of units. He's going to have his gas expo started down here, so his gas bank will probably be out of control later on, which is always a good thing as a Zerg player. I would like to see more spores up here. He does have to target these vessels. He does throw an Erad down on the Valkyrie. One Erad going down on a gas collecting guy. It is going to die before taking out all of its brother, and these two don't have any more energy. I'm not sure why he threw it down on that Valkyrie. He could have kept it alive and and probably got both sides. He did have burrow, so it wouldn't have mattered too much, but it just would have slowed down the economy a little bit. Two more lurkers are going to die in the suicide nuke bomb. Three more lings, 4, 5, 6 more lings are going to jump in there for no reason. They did see it at the last second and tried to retreat, but not in time. Are going to die to that nuke. Not moving forward right away. Going to let the Zerg jump in here again and move forward with more and more lurkers. This nuke strategy not doing as much damage as Red is hoping. He is able to kill a couple lurkers at a time, which is going to make Blue really make sure to keep producing them, because if he does forget at any point, that he will be vulnerable to this slow push move in here. More vessels being produced. I feel like Red probably has too many workers right now. It doesn't feel like he has the biggest army. Well, I guess there's a lot of tanks right here not quite doing anything. Only rallied out. Still up at 331 APM. Doing a killer job. Score, is this live? This is live. 3-2. Thank you, Mr. KoKaNe, for answering all these questions while I don't pay attention, Mr. Miyagi. I'd have to change the title to Peru vs. Canada. That is true. I might have to. I did premature the title a little bit. I do apologize to Mandingo if he does end up defeating Thanks in his little comeback victory. He was down 3-1 at the time, but I did do that title. So, and Sword gave me my intel. So blame Sword. He did give me the dirty intel that Thanks was going to win. He didn't think there was going to be another game because I asked to jump in to stream this. A nice Erad on these vessels. Erading each other. Going to run around and do a death ball here on all units underneath and in the air around these bad boys. A very Korean move right there by our Korean player. These tanks are going to get some shots off on these lurkers now that they're not under a swarm. He does need to get a swarm off. Another nuke going to go down. I don't see where it is, but I imagine it was right there. Oh no, that's not the nuke. He's shooting. Where did that nuke go? I don't know where that nuke is. There is a nuke somewhere. I'm going to try not to miss it. It is a pretty big explosion. It doesn't show up on the mini-map though. Maybe it died to some splash damage. I'm not sure where that nuke was. Maybe just a scare nuke. I feel like it probably was at the front and those lings did blow it up in the splash damage. I'm not sure. Did anybody see these rare sight? It is. It's the Dano strategy. Shout out to Dano. He likes to rush nukes in this matchup no matter what. Lots of vessels are going to do their little erad trick again and just probably patrol around these guardians with these Valkyries. They are going to make quick work of them. You do need to have a lot of air upgrades for now guardians and mutas and guards to even stand a chance versus Valkyries now that they are fully shooting. Gonna chase down that Defiler and take it out. Pretty show there. Ups. The Terran upgrades are at 2-1. And the Zerg upgrades are at 2-2 now. So Zerg has probably, the Hydras are actually probably at fully upgraded now because he did get the first Hydra upgrade down. The vessels getting taken out now by this one single spore. He is able to get a drop off here, which is going to start taking out these turrets. Still good stuff from Blue. Blue holding on very nicely, not cracking under this nuking pressure that the red player is applying. Going to put these swarms farther and farther ahead, which is always good. You want to push the Terran back as far as you possibly can, but he does need to burrow these lurkers. You never want to have it idle. A nuke is going to go down again somewhere, but I don't know where. Oh, there it is. There's the nuker. He is going to nuke these lurkers that are pushing forward. This will be a good one if he doesn't pull it back, because there is a Defiler in here too. A burrow Defiler, and this time 5 lurkers. Oh, they do see it. They are going to pull back it, but is it going to be time? No, it's going to take out 4 of them, and the Defiler. 1 lurker is able to survive that. Smart guy. Another nuke going to go down. Here we go. Now that we have a lot of nukes here lined up, he can really start pushing the Zerg player back. It is hard to see them as an observer, let alone as a player, while you're trying to do a bunch of things. This next nuke looks like it's going to get a lot of casualties. Is it going to show the nuke kills here? It doesn't, but lots of Zerglings and Hydras getting taken out. No really lurkers or Defilers. That is what you really want to kill. But you have to keep pushing forward too. Nukes do take a lot of supply, so if you build a lot of nukes, you are going to be lacking in army, and Tony G has come across this problem a lot, getting a little too excited with his nukes and then not having any army because he also built too many Valkyries. More and more now Zerglings and Hydras not even going to go for the lurkers. He is just going to push forward now that he does have a huge bank, and he feels like the Terran player isn't really, well, the Terran player isn't using the choke at all right now, so he is going to be able to put these units in super cost efficiently. This gas base down here really proving to be very helpful in this game. No energy on, oh, 1 energy for this swarm. He needs to throw down a swarm. He can't be throwing in these Defilers for no reason. 1 swarm does go down. That's very good job. He will be able to take out this first or I guess, yeah, this is going to be the first little defense of the red main before he does jump in. If he is able to get a swarm up right here, it is going to be very difficult for the Terran player without any really any vessels. Only 3 vessels. That's not going to be much at all. He really wants to pick off these Defilers. Oh my goodness, Blue just actually consumed a Defiler. Your biggest head is in the way. You can't see the upgrades. Well, I don't know where else to put it, bud. That's the standard spot. Damn it. I think JH is better than that's probably true, but JH hasn't played in a while. I haven't seen him in a couple seasons. I guess actually last season maybe we did see him. But it's been a long time. 1 season is a long time. The Zerg pushing forward. He does need to throw up the swarm or else these units are going to die. That is the first good little spot there. A nuke is going to go down, a defensive nuke here. Going to take out any units that decide to push any farther at this moment. A bunch of Valkyries running in, chasing 2 mutas, not being microed. Going to get taken out by all of these spores. Well, good job by Mandingo using his 200 APM to outdo the 300 APM Korean. That nuke is going to go down, take out even more lurkers. Nukes, taking out lurkers under the swarm. Definitely cost efficient. Definitely good nukes here by our Zerg player. Another big string of Zerg units going to come in. He does need to get a swarm up, probably a little bit farther up there. He is being very cautious with his leap forwards here, but I guess that is safe. You don't want to be too overzealous against this Korean player. Another nuke going to go down. This is going to be another good one, taking out even more lurkers, even more Defilers. Very nice stuff by our Korean player, using nukes very well here against a fully maxed out Zerg, but I don't know if it's worth it not applying all this pressure. He is going to fill up a bunch of dropships and go for a drop, but I'm not sure where he feels like he's going to slip in. Maybe put a bunch of, or I guess actually he uses these Valkyries similarly to how Protoss uses Course Airs. Tony G does not breathe when he talks. I know. I got my water here because I get out of breath quickly here. Just speaking. There's a lot to go on here, lots of APM here, lots of nukes. This drop is going to go in here with vessels, Valkyries, and nukes. He is going to be pretty vulnerable at home because a lot of his supply is right up here, going to run in. The suicide Valkyries try to take as much shots and do as damage while these vessels and dropships come in here. We're going to see how well this does. Blue is reacting nicely, going to send up a lot of mutas. He does have a lot of static defense up here too, which is also going to be able to do a nice job killing all of this. Definitely not worth it by our Terran player here. Very nicely defended by Blue, holding that very, very nicely, reacting very quickly. The swarm is still here, not letting the Terran player come out. Right as I say that, though, it does go down. We do have a Defiler who is going to consume that little Zergling. He didn't even have to, but he's going to do it anyway. And he is going to, again, prevent the Terran from moving out. It doesn't look like that really is his plan. He did lose a lot of supply in that last drop, so he is probably going to rebuild it here. Probably all vessels here, unless he does have... Oh, no, it's going to be Valkyries. Not a bad idea. I feel like you need more vessels, though, because if you forget about vessels, the Defilers and Lurkers can get out of control. You're better than JH. No, but JH is better. I don't know. We'll have to see. He needs to join one of these tournaments and defeat it. Thanks is on him. Well, I guess actually no, Thanks is still a round away. He is working on his way to another finals appearance. He does have to get by the Goliath. That is Mandingo, who is not going to go down easily. His Zerg is very, very good here, making a lot of good moves here. Only 2 Devour. Okay, there is a couple Devour brother in here. These 2-2 upgraded Valkyries, though, against the 2-1 Guardians are going to actually do pretty well, but the numbers are just not on the Zerg side. All those Valkyries were probably a better idea than vessels in this case, and he actually is going to move out while also defending that. The Zerg getting down a lot of supply. His army is going to be totally reset. He needs to start making units out of these little larvae ASAP, probably mutas and a couple hydras and maybe little defilers there, because he is going to be a little bit vulnerable here again. The Terran now maxed out and moving through while the Zerg tries to remake his army. He does have a little squad over here that I guess he has been making down here. He does have a nice little expansion. Going to work on making some defense at the front so he can have an expansion. If something does go wrong at home, he will have a little bit of a back plan. That is always nice to have. And if he is able to defend up here, he's just going to have another spot that the Terran is going to have to worry about a big swarm of Zerg units coming out. No Defilers right here. Okay, there are a couple Defilers. They need to consume ASAP. Another nuke going to go down right here. That little cloaked ghost is going to throw down a nuke pretty far. And if this nuke is going to go down, that will actually hurt the Zerg player a lot. Both of its Defilers and a lot of Ultralists underneath that nuke. It is going to get taken out. I guess I was paying so much attention on there, I didn't even see it. The Ultralists are going to be a pretty good call here. Meanwhile, Valkyries over here sitting completely idle. Another nuke going down. It looks like it's probably going to be a defensive nuke. Nuking. Oh, look at that. It's going to be a Gosu timing if this actually times out perfectly with all of these Ultralists. Here it does go down. It might be a little bit early. It's going to go down to actually take out 2 Ultralists, 1 Ultralist. I don't know. It's hard to see in that bloodbath. Not the best timed nuke. If you would have put it right there, I feel like it would have been a little bit better, but I like the idea. Pretty hard to time that out because it's just a weird time. I don't know how long it takes. Mandingo has gone to Game 7 every series. Ooh, Mandingo, he is clutch. He doesn't die. He has got blood in his veins. These Ultralists fully upgraded, or not fully upgraded, but these 5-2 Ultralists combined with these Zerglings and Defilers looks like it is going to break the Terran's choke. Going to send some units up here to just really spread this army out. The only thing that's going to be defending are the units that are popping out of these factories. If they do get surrounded, they will be vulnerable. A nice big Zerg line coming in here. Lots of Defilers here are going to be able to consume forever and just swarm all of the Terran bases. Zerglings will fight very cost efficiently underneath this. It looks like this will probably be GG, but we have seen Thanks fight himself out of these kind of situations before. He doesn't give up, and he is very good at defense and not dying. But Mandingo really putting himself in a really good position. His bank is huge. You can see the bank of our Zerg player. He pulled all of his SCVs from this side gas. I'm not sure when or why he did that. I don't think he could afford it, but something must have happened. I don't know. Wasn't paying attention. Thanks needs vessels. Yeah, I know. He built all of those Valkyries, and then that triggered that Ultralisk push. That is a good call. See, that's why Tony G was saying that he probably should have built vessels, but then Blue did mass Guardians, so he did need all those Valkyries, but then the transition from the Zerg to mass Ultralisk really stomped that counterattack that Red was trying to do, put him in this position where his choke is vulnerable. Building Wraith now really going to try to just get any kind of DPS that he can out. That is pretty much the only thing that can build that shoots ground other than the vessels. I think it's almost too late now for the vessels. These Wraiths will still be able to come in here and pick off any more defilers that decide to come up. So these Lings and Ultras will not have the luxury of fighting underneath of that swarm, but still, even getting up here, just doing all of this damage, is going to be real hard for the Terran to rebuild, and the Zerg is just not going to stop. He's going to continue to pressure. He's going to send in everything he can, continue to take out all of the production facilities, slowly push this Terran into a corner. He is running really low on Zerg. He did finally, you can see, throw all of those SCVs back onto those refineries to try to build these gas units that are going to keep them alive, potentially. Wraith now really piling up, actually going to be doing pretty cost-efficient damage. They are at 2-2 upgrades. KoKaNe has said that my head is in the way, so I will try to update you guys on the upgrades as much as possible. They are 3-2 on the, or 3-3 on the Hydra, 3-2 on the Zerglings. He does need one more melee attack for the Zerglings to have them fully upgraded, so that's probably the same with the Ultralisk, unless he only built one Ultralisk then. He might need one more on them. I didn't click them in time, and if I did, I don't remember. He does have a couple idle drones right here. It would be nice if he made them into some hatcheries. His money is getting a little bit low, but that's just because he has been massing pretty expensive units non-stop. Needed a lurker, yes. If he did have lurker swarm, that is really the only way you can get siege tanks when they're under the protection of these things. But I guess unless you do have the ultras, but again, the ultras aren't the most cost efficient because they do freak out once in a while when they can't reach something and then just run around not attacking. We are going to see the Korean vultures using their mines. You don't see that very often at all on the fastest map, but that might be okay, I guess, for Zerglings, but I feel like that could be pretty risky if they all run in here. But no, that is going to do a pretty good job taking out some Zerglings. A nice little wave of defense there. The vessels up here trying to pick off any defilers that are going to come in, try to erad them ASAP, but it might not be in time. It looks like it's going to throw down one or two. Again, not the best swarms. If you would have just put that second one a little bit farther up, but he is going to get at least one lurker down in here. It is going to be able to start picking away at this Terran army. Lots of vultures. He is low on gas. You can tell that's pretty much the only reason you do that, but I guess also the Widow Mines can explode and do damage underneath that swarm. These Hydralisks might actually backfire and do some splash damage to these units. A nice little wall of tanks here is going to keep the red player alive again. A very good back and forth game here by our players. Good stuff all around. Trying to keep updated on that chat as well as much as I can. Still idle here. The Terran player is going to move out again. Not going to sit in his base any longer than he has to. Going to keep applying pressure. Make sure that the Zerg player can't do anything too risky. While that is happening, though, he did mass all mutas, and he's going to make a ton of Guardians here again. Going to try to get another wave of damage done. Look at that, spending all of his minerals. Completely broke now. He just loaded up all of these Ultralisks. It must have loaded up something into these Overlords too. That is crazy. What did he spend all of his money on? What are these things? These are some expensive larvae. I imagine they must be Ultralisks. A couple of tanks are going to push forward here, and they are going to be met by a whole ton of fully upgraded Guardians. They are 3-3 tonight. Yeah, it should be the finals. We did plan to play the finals. Hopefully it doesn't go too late, but whatever. Tony G will stay up, and we will caster. Yeah, but we've got to finish this, but still going around. Now he needed tech switch into all air. That's what he's doing. You are on the 2-minute delay. going over, the Terran player does have a pretty good, he rebuilt pretty well over here. Going to throw down all of those starports again, so he is going to be able to continue his air production, and he might be able to have enough to defend this. The Goliaths are a little out of position, but they are going to run home here and see. These Devourers are following these Guardians oddly. A lot of anti-air here, a lot of Wraith and Goliaths here are going to meet these Guardians right up front. They are not all together, so they are going to get a big surround up here in the air. The Zerg or the Terran looks like he's going to be able to take this out. No problem. Easy peasy here. Nice defense. He was absolutely ready for that round. And meanwhile, he is going to push forward with the tanks. I don't know if I keep zooming in too much or not. He is going to push forward with his tanks while defending that nicely. The Zerg going to be again in a tricky little situation, taking damage. His choke is down. All of these overlords, I'm not sure if they were full or if they were just there to detect any kind of cloaked wraith. Very nice counter by our Terran player. Going to have a pretty nice unit composition that is going to be kind of difficult to counter immediately. Going to try to use these mutas, but that's not a good call against these Valkyries. He does need something. Probably Defiler Lurker would be the best thing to do. Throwing in more and more Zerglings, taking out all of these Terran units, doing a pretty good job without it, but these Valkyries are actually getting taken out by mutas. A pretty good spread here by Blue, doing a great job. Kirk, what you doing? You're here on stream, you dummy. Overlords going back. I don't know. I guess those were those overlords that came with the battle. The air battle is going to go to red. Mandingo is asking to save game. I'm not sure if he has to go. That's usually what that means. Thanks saying no, he wants to defeat him in this game. He feels like he has him on the back foot, or at least he's in a good enough position to win this game. I'm not sure what the save game means, or I don't know if that means he has to go or what. Usually you say something other than just save game. Usually you give a reason for that. Mandingo was able to hold that back again, and he is still in a great position, so I don't know exactly why he said that or the reasoning behind that. Gonna take a little drink of the old water. That's actually a pretty good idea. Sending these Hydras up, they can attack these command centers that are legally landed in space. I'm not sure exactly how gravity allows that to happen, but in that little space beside your base, you can land a command center and a tech lab there. It's a pretty cool idea. It's a pretty Korean thing there by our Mr. Non-Korean player here. Another swarm going to be here, really delaying this second wave of Terran units. Not much happening down here. He did do something finally with those idle drones. I guess it's another little Valkyrie vessel attack going to come in here. Not going to burrow them right away, and actually going to be able to take out quite a few overlords here while holding position on top of the minerals, really delaying any kind of collection. And pretty good move in this spot, because Mandingo is really spending his money a lot, and he doesn't have the biggest bank. He does have a huge gas bank because of this sweet little expo up here. He's collecting a lot of minerals. Mandingo again gonna ask for a save game. No time. He does have to go. Unfortunately, I don't think Thanks is the person to agree to that. He is not the most mannered player, apparently. He has always been very polite to me, but I don't know. It's interesting. Mandingo said he had to go a while ago, and he did stay. It's been a couple minutes, so I'm not sure how urgent this is. No time. Again, Mandingo saying no time. Yet he is staying. He doesn't want to forfeit. Oh, thanks saying you lost. You lose. Save game, Mandingo. Countering. Counter offer. Save game, tomorrow continue. I don't know if he doesn't speak English, or if they're both just speaking broken English, because they both speak different languages, or if he speaks English and he's trying to speak broken English, so Thanks understands him. I'm not really quite sure why they are speaking the way they are. The Devourer's coming back home to take out these Valkyries that have just been sitting back here a lot. More Lurkers, Ultralists, and Defilers here sitting at home. Going to push this push back. Again, most likely because it's just very hard to kill swarmed Lurkers and Defilers, especially when you're bunched up that much in a choke. Those units will be taken out. Mandingo needs to either win or lose here because he has to go, and Thanks will not save the game. He does not want to continue this tomorrow. He wants to kill you now. He wants to kill KoKaNe right after. He wants his $100. He needs his $100. Cafe where Mandingo is playing will close. Oh no, he has to go because the place is closing. He's playing at a cafe. Oh no. That's a fairly legit reason. I'm not sure what the ruling is. KoKaNe, you're the admin, bud. I guess we're actually... He still hasn't left or done anything yet, so the cafe must not be too urgent on kicking him out. He must know somebody who works there and gonna let him stay a little bit longer to try to finish this out. He wants that $100 again, though. Gonna have save game. I don't think he's putting up a very good argument. He just keeps saying save game, and Thanks will not budge with just that. You need to spice up your offer a little bit there, buddy, if you want to get anywhere. Thanks gonna say you lose. Gonna have none of it. Thinks he's in a really good spot. He hasn't thrown down really any factories. He's just been applying a lot of pressure. He is going to get right back into that situation that he was before. Going to throw down some turrets all around the Zerg base and try to contain him while pushing forward with his nukes. He had to rebuild his nukes down here in the base as the space glitch was destroyed by the Zerg Hydralisks. Lots of Zerglings in here. Going to continue to be able to push this army back, or at least make sure it doesn't move forward. Red at home, I'm not sure what he's waiting for here. Just trying to get map control, I guess. He still hasn't scouted down here, though. All these turrets aren't going to be as effective as he wanted. One Guardian over here going to make sure that... it's also... He doesn't even have an engineering bay. He sent all these guys up, and he must have killed his engineering bay in that big kerfuffle. Mandingo playing cyber, no time, no more cash. Man, I don't know how those cafes work, but that is still funny stuff there, Arturo Garcia. The race transition, he's going to try to use those to counter the inevitable Guardians that will be coming again from blue. Blue. Not the game you want to be in if you have to go. That is for sure. Because it doesn't look like it's going to be over soon. 38 minutes into this game, and it is still not made too much progress for either player. I don't know exactly who is winning. Red getting map control again, but Blue still has a huge bank, and he has lots of defilers and everything at home. He looks like he's building more drones, which he plans on building more sunken. So I guess it's not too urgent. It looks like he's going to stay. We should set the timer to see exactly how long he is going to stay after saying he has to go save game. Maybe he was... Dang it, get out, nerd. We will be open tomorrow. The poor guy. He's probably a regular at the cafe, so I feel like he knows someone, and the buddy's doing him a favor. I wonder if he gets close enough if that lurker can shoot through space. That'd be pretty cool. These lurker defilers going to again push forward. Lots of tanks here on the ledge, though, going to make it very hard. You really have to use a big line of these swarms to make sure that they have a safe. And look at that, they actually can. They can shoot over into space. They did take out that one tank there that was right in range. A whole lot of raids going to come here. It looks like it's going to be another little attack on the economy here of our Zerg player. He hasn't added much more defense back here. He is going to try to take out the main, which could be a pretty deadly call. Gonna erad on the 2 units over here. Gonna throw down. Oh my goodness, is he gonna try to nuke? No, that is gonna get taken down. Good defense here by our blue player, but he is, I'm not sure how many. Oh, he is going to get the main. The main is going to get taken out. These rays slowly but surely getting damage done on that main, and there is no hatchery behind, so the Zerg players' minerals are going to be hard to come by. He was able to save them all with the burrow, but this could be the beginning of the end for our blue player, who will no doubt use that. He has to go as an excuse for this loss that is about to come, because he is probably not going to be able to keep up now with the Terran player on all those counter pushes with Ultra's Guardians. They do take a lot of money, and you see even with that main, he was getting low on minerals in that push. They obviously were able to replenish with all of them stacked up on that single mineral patch. It looks like he's going to try to go for a counter push. Basically no turrets here on this side for our red player, so if this isn't scouted, it will do some damage. He is going to send a Wraith over here, which is actually going to be able to spot that. Probably a couple reinforcements going to come over here. He is pulling a couple, at least one stack of SCVs. That's probably going to be to try to rebuild those turrets again. This drop coming in, though, is going to be detected and taken out. Something looked like it dropped there, but it was taken out immediately. Good defense here by our Terran player. He must have had some instincts on that coming. Well, Pablo, I don't know what to say, bruh. Don't know what to say, man. I don't think Thanks is going to agree. I think Thanks is going to take the W, because technically, if he doesn't agree and Mandingo has to go, he does lose the game. So we will see how this unfolds. I'm pretty sure that, though, now he is in a way worse position. So I feel like now Red definitely is in the lead. I would say that, because losing your main is like losing your queen in a chess match. You just aren't ever really in a good position if you lose that and the other player has theirs. It's pretty key, pretty important. If you don't have it, you really have to rely on a lot of drones, like way more workers, and you have to turtle a lot more. You can't really do what he was doing before. He will have to find an alternative strategy, and it doesn't look like Thanks will allow that to happen. He is pushing forward. You can see the Zerg really struggling now to build a proper army with the minerals he has. Even massing Zerglings is going to be difficult for him. No defiler. Oh, I guess maybe he does have one defiler burrowed here. He does need to pull that guy up ASAP. A cloaked ghost here. Looks like he might be trying to sneak in for a game-ending nuke. Where did it go? Right there. There is the nuke. He is going to... that's a pretty good spot. Going to... think he's going to prepare for the push forward there. It will take out a lot of lurkers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lurkers there with a couple Zerglings. Not a game-ending nuke, but still a very good nuke. Mandingo continuing to try to push forward. The store clerk getting really mad at him, but he is just ignoring him, thinking that he can somehow come back even though he has to go, and he is in a terrible position, which will require a lot of lurker defilers, but it will not be enough, I don't think. But maybe his minerals are getting lower and lower, so I feel like the longer this push goes on, the worse position he's going to be in. And you know that the Korean player will be preparing for another kind of economy attack, because he always is able to throw that in. He's always able to, it's always throwing in those little punches, always planning for them to hit eventually. And he is just not going to die at home. You saw even when the blue player had a bunch of Ultralists and stuff, he did hold on, and he was able to come back. I say it because I've heard he plays in, maybe this time is up. Maybe, man. Maybe. If he could risk it and say, if I win this, I'm going to have $100 so I can pay you. So Maybe he's going to go in debt to win the series. Do a little bit of bartering with money that he could potentially win from this series. Tanks moving forward, but I don't think that's going to be enough. I feel like those are going to be taken out pretty good. Oh, but actually, never mind. The Goliath here able to defend it nicely. Pushing though forward again, the minerals getting lower and lower, his supply getting smaller and smaller, really depending depending on these lurker swarms. But when the Terran really gets past your choke, you're gonna need more and more, and it just does not have the economy to back it up. All of those lurkers taken out. It looks like this will be the end. Mandingo will die before his time's up. We aren't gonna have to pause, which is good. Red is going to win this game 100%. Another nuke going down though for good measure. Let's try to find it. It is hard to spot the nuke. I don't know where it is. Can't see it. We'll zoom out though so we catch it if it does go off. Oh, there it is. I see it. No, that's not it. Never mind. I don't see it. No time. Come on. He's good. He's still saying something. I don't know what the language that is. Thanks is going to win. He is going to advance. GG. Not GG called, but the game is going to be over. Thanks did win that game for sure. 50-minute game. A hard-fought game. He will be ready to face off against Mr. KoKaNe, the Legend Slayer. And I don't know if we are going to jump into that right now. Yeah. Yeah, okay, it looks like we are going to jump in. Well, I guess KoKaNe is ready. We'll see if Thanks is ready. This will be the finals. This will be the last. That was the real semifinals. Oh, maybe not. No server last day today. I don't know what that means. Waiting for a translation here. Not sure what that means. By Mr. Thanks, who just defeats. Oh, he's saying me rest. I don't know how long he needs to rest for. 10-minute rest. Okay, that I accept that rest. That's a pretty good. He did just play a 50-minute game. I will say that is fair. I am. Maybe the time is up. It's never. Oh, it's over. Yeah, GG for sure. That was a good game. Very good game. Yeah, man. Just casted that final game. That final 50 minute. Get on her, Budsky. Get on her, Resound. Get over here, Brad. Join us. Think that is Chile slang. What does it mean, though? What does the Chile slang mean? What does Kitmer? What does Kitmer mean? Alright, we are we're gonna give Thanks a little break. He just played a 50-minute game, about to jump into another best of 7. This will be the final. This will be the $100 grand finals of the StarCraft Invitational Tournament. And it's gonna be a rematch of the New Year tournament, where, spoiler alert, plug your ears, Thanks defeated the fourdrones Korean Slayer in a 7-game series. He beat KoKaNe in Game 7 in a crazy comeback match where he was down to 4 drones versus his opponent whose name was fourdrones, and he was able to claw his way back to a victory and win that. I think that was the $100, $200 tournament as well. got himself some cash money, was able to get paid that day, and he's looking for another payday tonight. A rematch versus fourdrones, the Korean Slayer. Okay. Oh, it doesn't seem like enough if they're JKM. What's up, bro? Always there. How are you doing, my man? Good to see you. Good to see you. I hope you're having a good night, my brother. You're right in time for the finals. We just saw the last game of the semifinals where Thanks was able to defeat Mandingo in game number 6. Was able to win 4-2. And now he has taken a little break because it was a 50-minute game. And then we're going to jump into him, the rematch versus KoKaNe, the Korean Slayer. I feel like I just said that, so I am going to put you on the B right back screen before we start. Maybe. I don't know. What should we do? What should we do while we're waiting, boys? Yeah, I'll put you on the B right back screen. You guys stay here, though. We will be back to cast the finals. I will start her up right when she goes. Maybe actually, yeah, we'll just start her up when she comes. Or maybe I should actually end the stream and then restart the stream with the finals, the actual name, since we're already an hour into this. Or should we just F it and go ham and make it a nice long one? Guess it doesn't really matter. F it, we'll stay live. I'll just put on the be right back. And we'll be back for the finals. Stay tuned. Let's see if I can actually put on some music for you guys. You guys want some music so you guys don't leave me? Like, you know, when you're on hold? I'll YouTube on hold music. A little be right back music. Ah! I want to put the StarCraft be right back screen on. No. I don't know where it is. It's for you, friendly, just for you. For the boys, actually. No, mainly, no, I take it back, just for you, friendly. Right, the mic is, yeah, okay. What up? 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 We're back into the game. Oh my goodness! Look at that! Right as the game starts, we're in it. Tony G got that up to the date coverage. We're here for you. All of the obs kicked out except for your boy Tony G. Only one thanks trust because he goes live. You can see that I don't cheat. For his own POV, he checks all the VODs afterwards. We got thanks in the first game of this finals. SCW Invitational Finals are the rematch that we were all expecting and hoping for. Thanks will be facing off versus the Korean Slayer, the Korean himself. And we have the most classic matchup ever from Mr. Fourdrones, his classic Terran versus Zerg. Thanks will be playing his best race Zerg, so normally you count people out in this matchup versus him, but not Mr. Thanks. He is pretty ghosty with the Zerg. Yeah. So we'll see how this game goes. Mr. KoKaNe, we are probably going to see his standard Terran versus Zerg, the three barracks into the double gas before Academy, so we can start those double factories nice and close out on the base and start that push ASAP. We have seen Thanks counter it though, and some Koreans counter it before with the skipping Hydralisk strategy, not being too defensive on here. Yeah. Just telling Sword now is exactly 2 minutes when he asked that as the game time started. He likes to put that hatchery over here. I guess probably to get some creep over here so we can build some spores, because he likes to build a spore wall, not at the edge right here, so it kind of protects. Yeah, just spreading that channel out as much as possible. We were up to 22 people, but on that be right back screen, we lost 10 people. Oh my goodness. People have no patience. They couldn't just wait for Tony G and Thanks to take a little rest. Hopefully they'll be back, though. Hopefully everybody in the chat is still going. The chat stopped lurk. Let me just type something to see if it's still going. Hello, people. See if it pops up on the stream or not. I guess oh, okay, good. It is still working. It is working. Just nobody talking. The first factory, you're going to go down at the 3-minute mark. 1 minute faster than we have seen other Terrans throw it down. That will be a nice, fast factory. Going to throw down a second one probably right up here, right as he gets to 100 gas. He does have this pretty well timed out. Where is that second SCV? SCV a little bit late, but we won't complain. Not too late. Going to get up there right at probably 150 gas. Still pretty good timing there. Continuing to pump Marines, getting his supply depots all up in time, making sure he doesn't get supply stuck. Only one sunken colony from Mr. Thanks, so he is being super duper greedy here, not being yet scouted, really capitalizing on the fear of us non-Koreans. Going to get really greedy here, having a very quick layer. That layered just as quick as these factories. Going to see that starport probably started up immediately once he finishes microing these Marines. He is going to now scout that there is only one sunken colony, sending one Marine up to make sure that they don't push forward too much. But we are seeing a little bit of a different strategy here from Thanks. He is making a whole ton of Zerglings, saving up all of that larva that he saved from building sunken colonies and going to cash it in with some Zerglings. His Zerglings are really good, and they will be even better versus non-medic Marines, and he knows that Mr. Coke doesn't like to build Marines too quickly. Gonna build a really nice engineering bay here, right at the front though. Gonna make a nice wall, making sure these Zerglings can't get by too cost efficiently, but they do find a way where there is a Korean player, there is a way Zerglings are gonna run by, and they are gonna be able to scout where the Terran player is, maybe pick off some reinforcing armies. These the trajectory of these Marines will give away that the Terran is in the bottom left, unless it is a big trap, but not likely. Thanks knows better. He did get very quick Zergling speed. Oh, excuse me. And the Marines are going to go, the Zerglings are going to come here and to actually take out quite a few Marines. His hero SCV, fighting for his life, is going to be able to kill that final Zergling that did run by. This first tank is going to try to siege up, but more and more Zerg units are going to stream in, going to try to find some damage where he can. Only still 2 sunken colonies here, so if he did have medics here, I feel like he could just push forward really, depending on a lot of units. He is going to get that Queen's Nest down to start that hive to get that Defiler up ASAP, but he's really just going to depend on these Lurkers now. It looks like Lurker Zergling. He does have very good unit control, so this could get damage done. He is actually going to get a couple Hydras up here, which will be able to pick off this first siege tank, which is going to slow down this push, again buying him more time, which is the main goal for Mr. Thanks right now. He doesn't want to let this choke go down because he just does not have much behind, doesn't have much at this choke either, so he really doesn't want that to be revealed. He wants to hold his ground as much as possible, slow this down ASAP. The Academy now going to go down, so he will now be able to get some medics. The science facility going down right away. Gonna have that up. The Lurkers are gonna be up the way before that, surprisingly enough, and this will again delay the Terran from moving farther and potentially do some damage here. The Zerg pushing forward with these Zerglings, gonna burrow in front of this first siege tank, pushing it back quite a bit, gonna pick it off there. Burrowing another Zergling closer, going to keep these Zerglings alive. Very nice to shut or to, yes, just guard these Lurkers, which are going to get burrowed with 20 HP. Again, pushing it farther back. We do have 1 turret here, but that last siege tank will die. Very nicely done there, not losing any of his Lurkers. And keeping 1 here to just push that back until that vessel will come out. And that will be a little while. That Tech Lab still not done yet. He did forget about that while that was building, which is going to delay this vessel even more, which he just does not want. Every second counts in this situation. We haven't seen actually, there we go, the hive going down right now at the 7-minute mark. Very quick hive. Nice tank on the ledge here, going to be able to pick off this hatchery, which is actually going to be a big deal because he only has 3 hatcheries now. If he had one of his hatcheries, that's 1/4 of his hatcheries going down right there at the choke. He's going to try to replace that there by throwing that down up here. This push, though, is being delayed. It's going to be up to this Defiler. I don't think he's really going to have enough units to hold on once this vessel comes out. If he just unsieges and pushes forward, I don't think he'll even really need to siege unless this Zerg player is able to really somehow pull out a miracle fight here. This looks like it could be a deadly push. He was able to sneak a couple Lurkers out. I don't know. He must have got drop here and dropped them outside of his base, and they are going to run by. This could be actually a game ender right here. That was very sneaky. That must be why that hive was a little bit delayed. We did see it. He is going to pull all of his SCVs away to make sure that they don't die because he knows that this will not be defended. He has nothing at home. All of his Marines have been rallied forward. Going to pull all of the SUVs. Going to go for a potential base trade here. Try to get up. Try to capitalize on that later hive because of this drop. That is a 1 paul. He is not even going to worry about it. He's just going to lift the main right away. Kirk, we want to see you. Caesar, stop it. Do you have Ebola? Do you have Ebola? No, I do not have Ebola. I don't know what even the symptoms are for Ebola. I don't know what that shirt means, but that is pretty funny. The Zerg player is going to be right down into his man. This could be a base trade situation. He doesn't have any buildings anywhere else, and the Terran player is able to float. There is no hive, so the Terran player looks like he is actually going to be able to pull this off. He is going to be able to kill all of the drones, and if there is no drones anywhere on the map, these buildings are going to go down. And there will not be enough to stop him. This is a nice counterattack, but very good reading by Mr. KoKaNe, able to pull all of his SCVs for them to join into this battle, which will just make this army even stronger to kill. Going to throw up a turret even right here to make sure that nothing scary happens. He does have buildings floated up and protected everywhere. The Zerg is going to actually try to retreat with these Lurkers, pull them back to try to defend. He doesn't want to just give up. He only has 6 supply, though. This is literally all his whole army right here. he is just going to have to take this loss. All of his buildings might die before these lurkers even get up here, burrowing right here, just trying to do something, but he is just going to have to accept this loss, still trying to build larva, doing everything he can to stay alive. But out of all the situations we've seen him in, out of all the bad situations we've seen him in, this one is probably the worst one here. Still not going to GG though. Really, he does not like KoKaNe very much. These players aren't the biggest fans of each other. They have played a lot in this season, and I believe KoKaNe has actually been smashing Thanks. So GG is going to be called right as his last unit is, or right as his last building, waiting for the very last second to say GG. Very high APMs by both our players. KoKaNe going to go up 1-0 in this SCW Final Invitational Tournament. Very nice game. Very sneaky. I'm sorry that I missed that drop. That was a sneaky deaky drop, but in that case, pulling the SCVs might have been the best option anyway. Good read by KoKaNe and a good W. Good 1-0 for Mr. Korean Slayer. Give him a little compliment. Go through. Feiner, come. What does that mean? He knew it. Oh God. That last one hit me hard. That was a weird game, Mr. America. Alright, jumping into game 2. We do have a reverse matchup situation. I always do like this. We get to see how each other differs in the situation, and if Mr. KoKaNe can do what Thanks could not and hold on in a Zerg versus Terran, fairly close positions too, which will make it very, very difficult for the Zerg to hold on, because the Terran will be able to build the factories even in his base, and that will be close enough to have a very strong push while also keeping him very safe from any potential kind of Zergling counters or anything. But KoKaNe isn't too known for doing that unless he 5 pools, but I feel like in this situation he isn't going to play it risky. He's going to play it pretty safe and throw out that first hatchery right here at the front so he can get those Sunkens up immediately, which is always good versus any race. I guess actually not the best versus Zerg, but it still is okay. Hatchery or a barracks going down right at home for Thanks. It actually went down before the depot, which is a little bit irregular. Going to get that first Marine out a little bit earlier. Maybe he is going to try to do some sneaky stuff. We have seen him cancel 2 barracks before once he did scout the matchup, but that didn't work out for him. I believe he did lose that game. We see the pool going down right away. The Overlord going out in the middle of the map to scout for any potential mid-build pressures or get any hints at all of what race he is. Just that first unit out there, always good stuff. This is SCW StarCraft lover, StarCraftWorld.net, the basically the new VGT. VGT was the old fastest league. StarCraft World taken over once VGT died. It's been up for what, like 8 seasons, or was this 10, 8 or 9 seasons? 10 seasons almost now. It has been good stuff. Cash prizes to the first, where the first couple seasons had cash prizes for the top 3, but as the interest declined, I guess, the prize pool only went down to the first place player. So make sure you go check out StarCraftWorld.net. SCW, Caesar, you dummy. Okay, what did we say? I saw a GG in the chat. We are going to see a bunker rush in an SCV pull by Thanks. I got really distracted by the chat, but we do see a lot of pressure coming in here. The bunker is going to not yet get filled, but it is down. These SCVs are going to block these drones from going up right away. All of them targeting this first Sunken, which will be started, but a lot of SCVs and Marines targeting that. The first, or a couple of the first Zerglings are going to go down, try to help defending. That Sunken actually is going to be canceled before it does. The second one is going to start, not even going to finish that once it is canceled. Smart micro by Thanks using every single second to his advantage. All three of these Sunkens look like they are going to go down. More drones are going to be pulled. Actually, all of his drones are going to be pulled. Almost all of his drones are pulled to really defend this. He knows this is an all-in thing. Worker versus worker, Zerg versus Zerg. These Sunkens, that later Sunken that he didn't kill is going to go up now. I don't think this will be enough. The supply for Terran is too much. Micro was too good in that bunker. He scouted him way too early, and he was able to block those Sunkens for long enough for them not to be able to get up, but one actually does get up. I don't know if it'll be enough. It's pretty low HP. These Marines are going to jump out of the bunker and realize that they actually can take that out. Not much reinforcements back at home. It looks like Thanks will be able to tie this up. Very nice SCV pull and micro there. Able to stop all of those Sunkens from getting down quickly and take it out. There's really not going to be much he can do. He is not going to give up, just like in the last game. Thanks did not give up. I don't know if he's going to wait for all of his buildings to be eliminated. This is in a one's turn. Yeah, you guys help it out in the chat. Oh my goodness, more non-English. GG is called, and we are going to jump into game 3. The series is tied 1-1. Holy shit. No, I'm good, bro. I'm good, bro. I'm good, bro. Oh my goodness, we are up to 30 viewers. That is a Tony G high. We're jumping into game 3. The second he remakes that, we will get into it. He did jump into it. No, he didn't jump into it yet. There we go. Going to go right now. We are going to follow him into it to game number 3 of the finals. Series tied up 1-1 here. I didn't click links on my main. Cost me. Hard to hold. That was a pretty tough spot. You never want to be scouted that early, especially when you're choking and you have a player of Thanks' caliber. You know his micro is going to be on point. This is a one finals. All right, cool stuff. Good stuff out here. Game 3. Let's see what the matchups are. Another Terran player. Thanks is going to be Terran, and he's going to get his another. It's going to be the rematch of the last game. Same colors and everything, different positions. But KoKaNe will be Zerg, and he will be trying this again versus Thanks Terran. We'll see how this goes. If Thanks is going to try to do some crazy SCV stack, go for that little drop. We have seen him do that before. I doubt he's going to do KoKaNe's build. I don't think he's watched KoKaNe reps, or actually I don't know, maybe he has. Maybe he will do that, try to kill him with his very own blood, but right away we are going to see that's not going to be the case. He is going to go and send out his first SCV out to his choke, maybe right out to the middle. Where is this guy going? Right to the end of the choke. He is going to start that first barracks right there. It is going to be a fairly aggressive build here by our Terran. If he is able to scout the Zerg, this could be bad once again. That pressure timings that he has are pretty on point. The second SCV, I wonder if that's going to build, probably going to build another barracks right here out of the choke. I doubt that's going to be a supply depot. Knowing these guys, yeah. So the first 2 barracks are going to be at his choke. Definitely looking to put some aggression. This can really Eagle Haruno just subscribed. Thank you, my man. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing, my brother? This is a final tournament. Cash money prizes for the winner. $100, to be exact, will be PayPal to the winner of this series. Currently tied 1-1. The Korean Slayer, this is a rematch of the New Year tournament. If you guys didn't check that out, go check it out. Add Tony G StarCraft on YouTube. That was a nice, I streamed almost that whole tournament there. Some great games by some great players. And Swasix is now following. Thank you, my friend. I could not get tired of hearing that little ding-ding sound. Welcome to the stream, my man. Hope you like some fastest StarCraft, because that's what we do here. We got ourselves 2 of the top players that we have. Get into whatever. Okay, you guys are just talking. Oh, I can't pay attention when there's this many people to the chat. You guys are just going to distract me. This chat is just bumping right now, boys. Keep it up. Keep on discussing this beautiful game and all of your beautiful languages that I see there. That's not yet scouted. You can see that he sent 3 SCVs out here. He really wants to target. He really wants to add this pressure. This first sunken will get down, but he only put one up here. Really trying to be risky, and it might cost him. I don't know if he's going to give up and put a sunken colony right down at his main, but this sunken colony is going to be under fire immediately before it is up. Not going to be able to dish out any damage. It's going to die before it even gets one sunken. Again, this is exactly what this build for. That's why he sent so many SCVs to scout. He wants to find this Zerg choke, and this Zerg only put down one sunken in the gully. Very risky stuff. Usually you want to put down 2 to be safe, but if you want to cut corners like Thanks did in that first game, you can try it, but you have to be careful. No links to help out get that sunken down. He is going to be under pressure. 2 sunken colonies down are at the main, so he's not going to die right away, but he's not going to be in a good situation at all. The Marines ran right by that hatchery. They want to go and start attacking the sunken colony, and again, it's not down right away, so lots of shots are going to be off. White is forced to pull all of his drones. Not what you want to do in this situation. Down to 9 supply versus 27. Not in a good spot, but you can fight your way back. His choke isn't quite down yet. If he is able to pull off some good fights here, maybe he can get himself reestablished, but it doesn't look like Thanks is going to allow that. He is constantly putting Marines from these 2 barracks, keeping them all alive. You can see a lot of low health Marines that he was able to micro away from danger. It looks like Zerg is going to go for a 2-hatch. Probably Zergling speed. I feel like that's his only option here. I don't think he has time to go for any kind of layer units. The Marines now moving forward. Once they've taken that out, Ed D just subscribed. Thank you, my man. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the stream. We got ourselves a filthy old game right now. 2 giants battling it out. Lots of Zerglings actually are going to be able to run by this and first batch of Marines that are taking out that hatchery. That will be costly later on in the game, but these Zerglings are pretty all in. He does only have 2 barracks, so there aren't going to be much reinforcements. He's really going to have to throw down possibly a bunker at home. These Marines now realize that the situation is pretty scary. They was able to pick off an Overlord during this fight somehow, which is really going to supply to KoKaNe. He really can't afford waiting for an Overlord to pop out. You can see not even building one right now. Really microing on these units. He was able to get these 2 barracks up at home and save some of these Marines. Going to play it very safe. Get these Marines back at home, but they are going to be caught off guard. Not going to be able to get many shots off. Trying to fight back to these army where there is a couple firebats. Firebats are going to make quick work of these Marines, and it is not going to be good. These Zerglings got no damage down at all. Very good recovery by the Terran player, not making any, or not taking any chances. Going to bring back those Marines home to make sure that they are all going to fight together. More firebats being produced, and now that 2 medics are out, once Stim is done, he probably will be confident enough to move out on the map. These Zerglings are going to do what they can to buy as much time as they can, but I don't think it will be enough. They are going to be able to pick off this SCV that is building that factory, which will slow down the tank production, but at this point, you probably don't need tanks. Our Zerg player has been macroing pretty well behind. He does have that layer and that Hydralisk started to get those lurkers up as a saving grace, but these Marines are inching closer and closer, and I'm not sure if 4 sunken colonies will be enough. He is going to move straight forward. He could even just target, actually I don't know, he might just move actually around here. This is a vulnerable spot right here. He could pick off that Hydralisk den, and that could be GG, but no, he's just going to run in here. Going to send these firebacks off, which is going to pick off 7 drones at this point. That is almost half of his supply. He really cannot afford this. These Stim Marines are going to go in here, take out the second sunken. Going to be able to leave this main and this spawning pool vulnerable. Drones trying to do what they can, fighting because there is nothing else to do. GG is going to be called. Thanks is going to be able to really pressure that Zerg player, eliminate him nice and quickly, and take a 2-1 lead. Oh my goodness, the Korean Slayer is hungry for this money, or the Korean is hungry for this money and defeating the Korean Slayer. Oh my goodness, I messed that up pretty badly, but you all know what I meant, and we are going to jump into game number 4. Thanks is now up 2-1, winning 2 very quick Terran versus Zergs in a row with a lot of pressure. Miguel Angel Estevaz Garcia just subscribed. Thank you, my man. Welcome to the club of subscription. I don't have a name for you guys, but thank you That is pretty sweet. And Joel Aliga just subscribed. Oh my goodness, look at all these subscribers. Thank you guys so much. That is sweet. Sweet stuff. Oh my goodness, and look at this. This could be the matchup of the finals. We have yet again another Terran versus Zerg. We do have the roles reversed yet again. This was the first matchup, which KoKaNe was able to win, and then yeah, so far the Zerg has died every single time in this matchup. We're going to see if Thanks is going to be able to switch that up and finally defeat a Terran, which just has been steamrolling over these Zerg players, even if they are able to get to finals. Even in that first game, Thanks was able to defeat Meg, or whatever that guy's name was. Mandingo was able to defeat Mandingo in a 50-minute game, even though he tripled Command Center, which I don't think he will try. I don't think we're going to see that again. That just doesn't seem like a good idea. You really do want to pressure the Zerg and try to kill them ASAP, like Mr. Thanks did to Mr. KoKaNe, just not letting him even get any tech units at all, applying that pressure, and did a really great job. That 2 barracks at the choke is a little bit risky if you're playing against a Protoss player, but you can still wall up and get a bunker and hold pretty nicely, as long as it's not a mid build. Mid build almost is a free win for the Protoss player if you mid build Terran versus mid build Protoss. Real difficult unless you can get a bunker up. I have seen it happen before, but it takes some crazy good gameplay. And actually, look at this for Mr. Thanks. He is going to go for a 2 hatch before pool. Risky stuff. He has been known to do these kind of things to get any kind of advantage. He's not too worried about getting himself in really normally losing situations. He is able to fight himself out and capitalize with the strategy that he goes for. First SCV is going to go out for our Terran player, who is just doing that standard 3 racks, going to throw down that gas fairly quickly. He actually is going to be able to spot this Overlord, and that will give the red player an idea of where it is. The StarCraft lover just subscribed. What's up, my man? How are you doing? Thank you for the old subscription, my man. We are, oh my goodness, KoKaNe just took out a drone with this SCV. Look at that, the Canadian SCV micro power destroying that Zerg drone, who just did not stand a chance versus bloodthirsty SCV. Going to run back home, wants to keep him alive. He wants to go tell his whole family how he just did such a great job for the red colony here. The very quick layer, we see that time and time again for Thanks. He likes to really tech very quickly while somehow surviving with only 1 sunken colony. He just is very good at reading the situations and yeah, not dying to those early pressures that he is able to apply himself. We see the Terran now moving out. He doesn't know if it is a Zerg heavy build like last time. Last time we did see Thanks build a lot of Zerglings, and if you move out this early as a Terran player and the Zerg does something like that and you get surrounded, it can quickly snowball into a very fast loss. So he is going to be very cautious about this, making sure that his Marines stick together and don't get surrounded by any kind of Zerglings, but it does not look like that's going to be the case this time for Mr. Brown, who is not even going to throw down a Hydralisk Den. This looks like it is going to be the Quick Spire. So we are going to see some Gosu high level Overlord in your control group, Muta Micro. And we're going to see how well this does versus Mr. KoKaNe. We have seen this work before versus his non-medic Marines and his little bit later engineering bay. We see this time the factory going up at the 4-minute mark, almost a minute later than last time. I feel like he got it up at the 3-minute in that last time. These Marines, though, actually going to get some work done, taking out 2 sunken colonies, only 1 creep colony left, so these Marines actually might be able to get in here before any kind of Marines are able to get out. Very nice read. Maybe that's why that factory was a little bit later, because he actually did throw down the Academy. Tony G actually missed that. KoKaNe switching up his build, and this is actually going to be the perfect time to do so. Taking out this choke, actually spending a little bit more time on this hatchery than I would like. He should be running by and trying to apply as much pressure as possible, but I guess he is confident if he takes down this choke that he will be in a good enough position to win this game with these tanks and starboard right outside of Brown's main. They will be close, and they will be here to help if this army isn't able to finish the Zerg player off here. I feel like all these larvae are saved up. They are mutas. There is going to be 8 mutas, and the Koreans are able... Oh, she knows it's going to be 6 mutas with 2 overlords, probably. They are able to get themselves, and they are able to pick off a lot of units with their muta micro. I don't know what you just said. Your message got retracted, bro. I wish I could see your BM, but YouTube is too smart. You got to get more clever with your BM. YouTube picked it off. Picked it off immediately. Or unless you deleted it, I guess, possibly. I guess that would have retracted me. Never mind, that makes more sense. The Marine, the first 6 mutas are out, and they are going to pick off that SUV and a couple of non-protected Marines here, but they are dying, and you just can't afford it when you only have... What does he have? 1 hatchery now? He only has 1 hatchery here, so he is going to try to do this 1 hatchery muta micro. I don't think he will be successful. These tanks will going to be come off, and unless he's just going to pick them off constantly, he has to choose one or the other. He has to either try to counterattack or defend, and he just can't make up his mind. He knows that he needs to apply damage, but he also can't be dying at home, so he is going to try to pull these muta back while microing on 2 fronts. Pretty impressive stuff. Able to do more work than if you were to just A-move in here. Keeping all of these low health mutas alive in the back, in that clump with... I'm sure he has one of these overlords moving somewhere with this muta clump to keep them clumped up like that. Able to slow this down. He's losing overlords, though. That's not what you want in this kind of situation, especially when you only have 1 hatchery producing larvae. Doing what he can in this sticky situation, but I'm not sure if it will be enough. I don't know if... how many mutas is that? Not many mutas. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 mutas will be enough, but you never know with these Koreans. Building more Sunkenes, he does believe that he has a chance. Picking up almost all of the SCVs that were mining for red, so his economy is completely halted. Non-stop 36 supply here. He does only have 6 drones collecting. I guess you don't need that much collection when you only have 1 hatchery. Not able to build more hatcheries, though. We are going to see the Terran Stim in here try to just take out this third player that is just somehow holding on in this game with hardly anything. Taking out those first 2 Sunkens with hardly any casualties. Moving forward right into the range. Going to siege that tank up. Nice and protected by all these units. Playing it nice and safe. I like it. Going to pick off these few remaining drones that Brown does have. The micro will not be enough to stop this tank from destroying all of the economy. He's going to do what he can to take it out. And he is going to somehow clear out this army, which is pretty amazing because mutas just shouldn't be that good. And yet they are doing what he can to survive, doesn't want to give up. This engineering base sees that this game is pretty much over as long as he doesn't do anything too ridiculous. Going to throw down 2 turrets just to prevent any kind of silly counterattack that Thanks thinks he can do. He hasn't been wanting to leave these games until all of his buildings have been eliminated, which is pretty strange, but you got to do what you got to do, okay? He's just going to move that engineering bay over on top of that mineral patch to stop any drones from collecting. I don't think... Thanks is even producing any more drones anyway, and if he does, he's probably going to send them on gas because he only has 4 here collecting. These, once he sees that there is the turrets up here, we should be seeing a GG, but we might not. We're seeing some easies in the chat. Legend Zeta beat Thanks 3 weeks ago. Legend Zeta was Legend Zeta in the tournament? I'm pretty sure he was invited. All the legends got eliminated, brah. Legend Evil, your boy Legend Evil got pwned. Legend whatever. All the legends got pwned, bruh, so I don't think he is the best. He might have beaten Thanks, but was it for the $200 tournament? I don't know. We'll see. We'll set that matchup if you want. I would love to see it. The lurker is going to be produced. Thanks is still somehow holding on to this main despite having no workers collecting, and they are unable to get back on the mineral patch. Still refusing to leave, microing his heart out, going to try to get work done with one single lurker and 3 mutas, still maximizing his damage, but it is not going to be enough. I don't think he stands a single chance, and if he does, I am sorry. I will eat dirt or something gross. But I just don't see it happening. Mr. KoKaNe, he has blown that game before, but there we are. We are going to see a leave, and the series will be tied up. We are going to jump into game number 5. Again, a little bit delayed of a leave there. Thanks is not happy about this. He is losing with his favorite race. Trying different strategies each time. He is getting creative, doing what he can to kill this Korean Slayer, but the Korean Slayer staying strong, defeating this Korean once again, tying up the series. Jumping into game number 5. Currently 2-2 to 2-2. Whoever wins this next game, though, this next game is a big game, because they will put their opponent on match point. They will be fighting for their life. Oh, we finally have our first Protoss. The first Protoss of the series. Who is Brown? About to be revealed. KoKaNe. Oh my goodness. KoKaNe's Protoss is pretty good. And look at that. He's happy about it. He's spamming 1300 APM. He is excited about this. He will be playing against Mr. Thanks' Terran. Thanks has been practicing this matchup a lot. He lost like 3 or 4 in a row the other day when these guys were just playing for the SCW ladder. So Thanks has been asking for people to pick Protoss versus his picked Terran to try to improve his Terran as much as he can. And I guess he has come to the conclusion that building these forward barracks are the best idea. They are. It is a good idea for Terran versus Zerg because you can get those Marines out like we saw earlier. I'm actually the best player. Who are you? What's your name? Joseph Sanchez on the game. What's your name, brah? Joseph, I believe you though. I do believe that you are the best player. Usually when people say that in chat rooms, it's true. So I'm going to take your word for it, Joey Sanchez, that you are the GOAT. KoKaNe going to go for his patented Nexus first, and we're going to see if that is scouted or not. If Terran is able to scout the Nexus first, there is an opportunity to apply pressure, at least set up, get yourself set up to maybe potentially get a kill shot. The Protoss, I feel like they do need to get a choke up if they are doing this and are facing a lot of pressure from a Terran player, because you may or may not be able to get enough gateways and zealots off to defend, especially if you don't go for a 4 gate afterwards. It all really depends. Thanks has very, very good micro, but KoKaNe has a pretty strong Protoss. You don't see him lose as Protoss very often. He has a lot of builds up his sleeve too. Thanks is going to go for that very aggressive triple SCV scout with this, just in case that he is playing against a Zerg again. I'm not sure if he saw that probe or not. Looks like Brown was able to see the SCV and is going to go right across. Good. Oh, going to go to the bottom left corner, maybe. Almost a perfect guess there. He does have his pylon up at the front, so he is going to be able to get that forge and a couple cannons out to stop this pressure. The Korean Marines absolutely destroy Zealots. They can micro, especially in this really early game, really, really good. I have been in this similar situation against this exact player, and he was able to crush me. He stopped me from getting my cannons up at the choke, and yeah, he did this crazy bunker slow push to me that I just wasn't able to defend. I pushed it off once, and then I tried to get aggressive with a counter, And yeah, you guys don't care because we are jumping into this game. This first bunker doesn't look like it's going to be finished. He is microing very nicely, keeping this SCV alive, and going to go for another very aggressive bunker near the top of the main. These first Marines are going to go in and get picked off. Not microing perfectly after I give him all these compliments. Going to lose 2. Microing pretty good though. Losing though both those SCVs building those bunkers, so we probably need to cancel that ASAP to get that money because it doesn't look like they're going to be finished. Not even going to try to pull any more SCVs out here. But good job here by the Protoss player. Keeping these Marines at bay and picking off as many as they can so they aren't able to bunch up and make mincemeat of these zealots. Now building up the cannons here at his choke to make sure that any kind of pressure that Thanks is likely to apply will be stopped. Thanks is going to push forward again, trying to kill him off of just 2 barracks here. This is not the easiest thing, and oh my goodness, he is going to try to go for the kill shot. He is pulling the SCVs. We are seeing a very, very risky business. This is a Mamba-esque build by Mr. Thanks, pulling the SCVs, but losing all of these Marines. The SCVs aren't going to be able to kill the Protoss by themselves, who is building from 3 gateways and able to get these 2 cannons established at the main. I feel like this will not work. You need more backup, but I guess he was throwing so many Marines away. Oh, just going in here. This is not looking good. An LOL and an instant leave, and Mr. KoKaNe is going to go up to 3-2. Cuera Mora Zita. I don't know what that means, man. I clearly only speak English. Tony Gosu, the best streamer. Thank you, my man. I always like a good compliment. Nothing gets me going more, my man. Jumping into game number 6. Mr. Thanks now on death row. Oh, some BM by our Zeke and Deef. Our boy Zeke and Deef, we played them earlier. They're probably going to make a YouTube video of it. Oh my gosh. A TZ battle. Game number 6. Jumping into game number 6. It is 3-2. I want to say it to confirm, but I'm pretty sure it's 3-2. It is a 3-2. KoKaNe just needs a second here, taking a little breather here. They have been pretty back games. Pretty quick games, pretty good games. Lots of pressure applied. Mr. Thanks really trying to get the job done. He's not happy, not calling GGs, not saying anything other than go, no GLHFs, right down to business. And once KoKaNe presses start, we will begin that countdown and jump into it. Thanks on his last life. Needs to win to stay alive. If he dies, he is done. He will not get that $100 payday that he so desperately wants. Saying go again. KoKaNe asking for a go and then not going. Getting a question mark saying, why would you say go question mark and then not go? Go, sorry, apologize, go question mark. Good conversations coming out here. GG. Yeah, you guys are just seeing that now. Not the best stuff. Another Zerg player. I wonder if it's going to be a Zerg versus Terran. Let's check it out. You guys are going to find it right as I do. It will be KoKaNe playing Zerg. Zerg yet to win, and it's going to be another Zerg versus Terran. Crazy enough, this will give Mr. Thanks a potential opportunity to tie this series up and get into a game number 7, which would be dope. Thanks has been going for that gateway at his choke here, and then really trying to counter Zerg. You can see the how it's not the strongest when you play versus Protoss. I want to see a mid-late game. Yeah, well, these players, you might not in this game here because Thanks likes to kill with Terran. He likes to go for the blood. It is unfortunate that he didn't actually try to play that last game out. I feel like he tried to give up. Stop lying, Jose. Jose. Hatchery gonna go down. He's still going to stick with his bread and butter, not going to try to do anything too crazy with his Zerg. Thanks actually going to play it a little bit safer in case it's another Terran versus Protoss. Going to put the 2 barracks at home. Not going to go for his crazy mid-build Zerg counter. He knows that it's very possible. He's got this matchup now. This will be the third time in 5 games. Or in 6 games, I guess. This is game number 6, right? 3-2, yes. So yeah, he knows that it's very possible, but he's actually not going to throw down the third barracks, and he is going to see that it is Zerg, and he is going to see the Marine or the Overlord, and he has to make a guess. It's always tricky because it could come from any spot. He is going to go down to the bottom left, which will be pretty close to the bottom middle. 3 drones going to be pulled this time. He's not going to try that one sunken business this time. He is going to play it safer and not let any kind of bunker shenanigans kill him this time. He wants to get into that mid-late game that we have yet to see from these players who have just been killing each other very quickly in some crazy base trade, crazy kind of micro-intensive game. These drones going way out of town, maybe too far. I'm not sure if that was a good idea or not. Trying to pick off those first Marines is going to be a very good spread here, which are going to get 2 sunken colonies down right away. If he gets his third one up, which he just doesn't quite have the minerals for, he did throw a hatchery down, which is pretty aggressive. He's not too afraid of dying here, which I feel like he should be a little bit more. All of these Zerglings are going to be out, though, in time, maybe to pick off this bunker before it gets up. If this bunker gets up, maybe he will be able to get more damage done, but you still have to put all these Marines out to target these Sunkens, but you see that he is able to do that. Targeting, but we do see one Sunken going to get up, and with one Sunken up and all of these Zerglings combined, I feel like this actually might be hard countered here, and potentially a GG. I don't know, though. Sanks is pretty good at surviving. He might not die to this, but he definitely will be vulnerable to some potential damage. The Zerglings are going to follow the Marines, not going to think that it is a trick. They are going to come in here. The Marines are going to target pretty nicely with this next batch of Marines. I feel like he's going to have more than enough to hold this off, but he was just kind of trying to hope to get some damage done there. Wasn't necessarily looking for a kill. Very good job by Thanks microing that very perfectly, not losing anything extra than he did, not throwing him off at all. He is going to throw down another 2 barracks, it looks like, with his academy. So I feel like he is going to make a bunch of medics and just try to break this without going into factory. He wants to kill these people pretty good. Why me? We want Zeta. Well, get Zeta invited, man. Get him on that SCW ladder. I want to see this boy Zeta that you speak of. The Zerg throwing down 2 more sunken colonies, which is a pretty good call. He knows that Thanks is hungry for blood, maybe on a little bit on tilt, not calling GG, and pulling SCVs against a Protoss, choked for some reason. He knows that Thanks is out of sorts, maybe in his head a little bit with these recent W's he's been handing him, but you can never count Thanks out. And one thing we've learned, he is pretty good. He will just probably wait for Stim and maybe 2 control groups, like 24, before he pushes in, because you don't want to push in too early, but you don't want to push in too late either. The Zerg getting a nice defense up while slowly getting his gas and his hatcheries back at home. Slow and steady, playing it safe, not going for anything too crazy. Meanwhile, I would say Thanks is going for something fairly crazy. He might even attempt to pull his SCVs again. He's not putting any factory down anywhere close, and I don't know what, maybe he just started the range upgrade. He might wait for that. I don't know. This can throw players off. If you don't feel any pressure or tank push for a while, you feel like it might be a drop or something, so you might start throwing some defense at home, or preparing for a different strategy if you don't scout this, and this can kill people. This is known for killing people. Medics are pretty good, and if you have enough of them, it doesn't feel like they die to sunken colonies. So if he is able to target and keep his medics healing these Marines, this could potentially get himself a tied up game here. The layer is getting down with a second gas. Oh, lots of non-English going down here. Go Burrito. Burrito got banned. Bro, he might be potentially one of these players in this game here, but I'm not sure. Lots of speculation about that. Getting these medics ready to go in front to try to heal these Marines ASAP. The Stim going in here. First sunken, gonna go down. taking quite a few casualties. These not the most medics here. You do want probably a couple more medics in here, but still doing a good job taking out now, what, 4 sunken colonies with a lot of army behind. 61 supply to 36 supply. Zerglings are going to come in here to try to help do as much DPS in here, but now the medics are doing a great job. Now that there isn't that many Marines, they are going to do a better job healing the ones that are getting hit and keeping them alive. More and more reinforcements coming in. He does have 5 barracks, so there is going to be a lot to help counter here, or to help reinforce here. Taking out all of those sunkens without taking much casualty at all. Red will be vulnerable here. He doesn't have a Hydralisk Den in the Spire, just started. I don't know if he will have enough muted Zerglings, but you can't count him out either. He's got some pretty good pretty good micro himself, and he's good at surviving in these really sticky situations though. But it's going to be real tough. These Marines going to probably target that Spire not in the safest position, and with that Spire there will be basically no tech and not much of a chance. It's going to leave all of these drones completely vulnerable. Really only one Sunken, these Sunken colonies up a little too high to really protect that mineral line. Just picking off or just macroing right now. While he does pick that off, going to go in, pick off this last Sunken colony, which is defending, going in the range of that, which you just don't want. Going in for a surround with these Lings. These Lings actually might be enough with the help of these drones. And good hold by Mr. Red, but the second round, which he has been macroing up behind, is going to run by that first hatchery and go in. He wants blood. He wants to get this game into a game 7, applying pressure, just skipping past that hatchery even at the choke just to get back over here. Not going behind again this time. He is going to just go for the front. I guess he knows that Red just doesn't have much of a chance, and he just needs to keep attacking non-stop. Once this tank goes out, that definitely will be GG, unless he can maybe just get somehow mass Lings, but I just feel like mass Lings don't really stand a chance when you have this many medics and Marines. Unless, of course, you have some Defilers and Lurkers with you, but that doesn't seem to be the case this time. These Marines going to go for that little detour around over here. These Sunken colonies not quite done yet. Not going to be able to have any support for these Zerglings, which are going to come in for a surround. And yeah, that went about as well as I thought. He was able to even stack some drones, so he is able to do like a pretty decent amount. But yeah, it's just not going to be enough. Taking critical damage, just know where to go, using all of his larvae that he can to make Zerglings, and he actually might be able to hold this next push, but these pushes are just going to keep coming, and each time they're going to be stronger and stronger, adding tanks to this next one, and then vessels to the one after that. Not a good situation for our Zerg player, doing what he can to hold on with what he has. Again, these Zerg players are very, very good at using what they have, but they just don't have enough time to get up to a good enough position where they can macro up behind it and give some reinforcements. The Terrans have been out for blood, destroying all of the Zergs in their path, and it doesn't look like this game's going to be any different. I feel like it's just a matter of time. He does have his Hydralisk Den, so maybe he's going to get Lurkers, but I feel like Red Blue is just playing it safely. His macro did fall behind a little bit there. You can see his minerals getting up a little bit higher than you like in these kind of situations, but no fret as long as he doesn't really do anything too stupid. This should be the GG push right here. Zerglings are going to do what they can to get us around, maybe go by and try to pick off some reinforcements, but at this point, it doesn't matter. They are going to go for a one last hoorah, but this push at home will just not be dealt with. Terran reacting nicely, pulling the Marines back at home, and with a couple medics and stim, this should be picked off no problem. GG will be called. We will be jumping into game number 7 for $100, a $100 game. One game, $100. Korea versus Canada, the rematch. Again, going into a game 7, these two players very evenly matched, and this is what we all wanted. This is what we all wanted. The rematch. KoKaNe versus, or fourdrones versus Thanks. And we got a game 7. We have as close as we can be. $100. $100. One game. Good luck, have fun, guys. Ooey, ooey, ooey. The pressure is mounting. Both of these players, we're going to see if they have the balls to go for something offensive, or if we're going to see a 2-hour turtle match like we did last time. We'll see. We will see. We'll see with the matchup. The matchups are really going to depend on how we feel about this game. We are going to see yet another Zerg. It would be crazy if this was another Zerg versus Terran and somehow the Zerg ended up winning in the final game. But we will see. Zerg, thanks. If he could pick, he probably would pick Zerg. So that's going to be pretty good for him. And let's see. We have Protoss. And if KoKaNe could pick, it would be Protoss. So both these players going to be having their favorite race, which is as much as we can ask for. Unfortunately, or I guess which is good, they both do have the middle spot, so that'll be even on like the harassment and the choke point. I don't know. I feel like definitely the advantage goes to the Protoss player in these spots because just defending drops is way more difficult than if you were to be in that spot. It's just way less of a path to go, way less defense and stuff you can put in the way. And one thing we know for sure is that KoKaNe, Mr. Fourdrones, he likes to drop, especially in this matchup. He likes to go for it. He likes to go for it almost every single game, unless he tries to go for the Tony G smash build, which could potentially work in this matchup. But it is a little bit more risky because if you don't get work done, your drops are a little bit delayed, and if you're playing against someone that goes through as thanks, he can scrap himself up an army. So I don't know if he wants to go for something that's all in for that. He's not going to go for his Nexus first, so he looks like he's going to go for some Zealot pressure, possibly a 4-gate Zealot pressure that could catch our Zerg player off guard. Our Zerg player is not going to go for the double hash. He is going to get his pool up, but we have seen him skimp out on sunken colonies before, and this hatchery is really far back, so there's going to be a big path for these zealots to do their run by. Without going for that nexus first, these zealots are going to be out, and they're going to be out fast. No probe out to scout though, so he does need to get a scout out, but he doesn't want to alert the player as well. He knows that Thanks is a very, very greedy player, and he is going to use that to his advantage to try to catch him off guard. It always is good. You don't want to 4-gate every single time, but it is good to throw in a 4-gate once in a while because it can do devastating damage to anyone who is not prepared. Especially if it's not scouted. First probe is going to go up. Not going to see anything. The Overlord was actually sent up. Pretty aggressive Overlord. And it's really going to come down to the micro of our Zerg player. If he's going to be able to stop these Zealots from running by and getting to these mineral line or not. If he is, he can get himself in a pretty good spot and maybe get some counter pressure on because the Protoss is really going to rely on those Zealots. And if those Zealots don't get damage done, he will be behind economically and arm-alarmally. If that's the word. These first Zerglings are going to take a stab at the Protoss being down here. Going to miss, but they will run into this probe. If they are, nope, not going to micro them immediately. Going to miss out on killing that probe. The Zealots are going to go across the map. He is going to take a stab for himself, just like the Zerg player did with his Zerglings, and go for the bottom right. That is the risk of doing this. It's kind of a all-in thing, but you're not going to see a choke there, so he is going to turn around this probe. Is going to see only one sunken, famous for this, only building one sunken colony. No sunken colony is a home. Just being super aggressive. Probably is going to go for that layer again. And he will be caught off guard. He's going to have to micro his heart out to try to defend this. Zealots are pretty good versus Zerglings. But if anyone can do it, KoKaNe can, or not KoKaNe, Mr. Thanks can do it. Zealots aren't going to stop. He's going to throw down his 5th gateway. So it looks like he is just going to go non-stop Zealots. Mass Zealots is going to be mass Zealots versus mass Zerglings. And if you don't have any sun colonies to help it, this could be a very quick GG. What speed is the game? Is that regular speed? No, times anything. Regular speed. Regular everything. Zerglings are doing what they can. Pretty good job to pick off these Zealots, but they are just way too strong, especially in this group. It doesn't look like our Zerg player is going to be able to hold on, but if he somehow is, we could have ourselves another very interesting game. These Zealots getting work done, targeting those Zerglings. He needs to get this sun colony up. You can see he does have a lot of minerals. He is panicking, doing what he can to stay alive. He can't lose too many drones. He needs to micro these Zerglings. You can see he's building lots of Zerglings, but they just don't stand a chance against Zealots in these numbers. You really, really need to outnumber them, and it looks like this will be GG, picking off all of these drones. We do see a quick leave, and that will be game over. KoKaNe is going to stay the Korean Slayer and defeat the Thanks in this rematch, win himself $100. That's nearly 125 Canadian. He is from Canada. Our boy fourdrones winning that series in some great games, 4-3. And yeah, we had some pretty quick games. And I'm not too upset about that because we will be able to finish at a pretty reasonable time. Only a half an hour past your boy's bedtime. And yeah, that was good stuff. Good stuff. GG's all around. And yeah, congratulations, KoKaNe AV, for winning the SCW Invitational, getting himself $100 and slaying the Korean that defeated him in the New Year tournament, getting his revenge, and setting ourselves up for a potential best of 3 finals. I don't know. We'll see what that next tournament is, if these two will meet yet again, or if anyone can upset them. Mandingo very close in that first game, doing a great job. Who knows what would have happened if he didn't have to go. Maybe he would have played differently, or maybe, I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, great tournament. Thank you, Mr. SCW Tournament. I believe it is KoKaNe for running it. And yeah, awesome stuff. GG's. Thanks everyone for coming out. We had a bunch of subscribers and followers that time, and we had a bunch of viewers. All good stuff. Chat was live. Chat was dope, man. Even though I couldn't read some of it because you guys aren't speaking English all the time in it. But yeah, dope stuff. Thanks for coming out. And until next time, I don't know what the next series or what the next cast or stream will be, but yeah, I'll be back and we'll have some more beautiful, fastest StarCraft. Thanks again to everyone for coming out, and have